Hello, my name is Bartłomiej Sanak. I'm known as Tony. I've been lucky enough to be around cryptocurrencies since late 2016. I've been working in blockchain analytic company for 4 years, where I've been a leader of the research team. I'm also creating Bitcoin related tutorials on YouTube since 2018 and have written few articles, mostly revolving around privacy and why it's so important for Bitcoin users. Today we will be looking at Bitcoin related scenes in popular TV series and judging how real they are.
The universe told me to marry your mother and to buy Bitcoin in 2009. 2009!
Sam's father supposedly bought Bitcoin in 2019. Nope. The first public Bitcoin exchange started operating in early 2010, and soon the trend slowly started spreading around. In the middle of 2010, the infamous Mt. Gox exchange opened its service to the masses, and since then buying Bitcoin on exchanges was sort of normal behavior. Before 2010 though, people were trading Bitcoin, but it was more to experiment. The price of Bitcoin at the end of 2009 was around 1000 Bitcoin per dollar. Yeah, and it represented the electricity cost needed to mine it. Up to the middle of 2010, it was still easier to just mine Bitcoin on PC rather than buy it. And I won't even mention faucets. So the websites that were offering free Bitcoins just for clicking the button. Early Bitcoiners were idealists, trying to spread out the word and help the adoption of this new currency this way. So buying Bitcoin in 2009, a screenwriter went slightly overboard. 2010, I would believe. 2009, I give it a rating of 2.
You guys got $1 million together on 24 hours notice?
Yeah, to liquidate my bitcoins.
Oh, really?
Liquidating Bitcoins sounds slightly nefarious, but it's just a fancy word for selling Bitcoins, usually in exchange for fiat money. Going back to the previous clip, selling off 1 million worth of Bitcoin in 2010 or even up to 2016 would be considered a huge transaction, and at that time market lacked liquidity enough to cover transactions of such a huge value market. Orders of this magnitude would have to go through so-called OTC desk, short for over-the-counter desk. While most Bitcoin exchanges are just mediating and clearing offers of buyers and sellers, OTC desks are just mediating a deal between two parties. In cases of huge amounts like 1000 Bitcoin, OTC desks are a suggested way. They mitigate risk of diluting a market and creating a slippage. Right now, you could liquidate 1 million worth of Bitcoins in most of the online exchanges, even small regional ones. And overnight. No problem, I would give it 10.
Well, I had a gut feeling, so I went digging. I got a warrant for Parlov's browser history. He searched how to liquidate bitcoins 3 days before the laptops were stolen.
Man, I bet that browser history was a nightmare, huh?
Oh, you have no idea.
A warrant for browser history is almost the same as a warrant for the laptop. Also, the subject of the warrant was cooperating on the case originally. Cops could just ask him for his Bitcoin address if they wanted to gather some evidence. Blockchain analytics software is highly statistical, and using it as evidence wouldn't fly in court, but it helps law enforcement. In current days, Bitcoin isn't that much of a peer-to-peer system anymore. Most activity occurs between hubs, being payment processors, and exchanges. And all of these services are having very thorough KYC process. KYC means know your customer and relates to all the data you need to provide to the exchange, like your photo, citizenship status, bank account documents, your pet name, you name it. And only criminals are resourceful enough to trick these KYC systems. From my point of view, it's a travesty that KYC had been ingrained so much into Bitcoin, but hey, in some cases it helps law enforcement to lock on the suspect. I would give this scene 5.
So what do you need, Frank?
$1 gazillion in unmarked Bitcoin. I don't have a price.
Unmarked Bitcoin. There is this property of money that's called fungibility. You've probably heard about non-fungible tokens. It means that they are supposed to be unique, while money should be as fungible as possible. This dollar bill and that dollar bill are worth the same, even if I knew that the left one was used for trafficking people. Unfortunately, Bitcoin isn't fungible. Some coins are worth more than others. Freshly mined coins are usually being sold for a small premium because they are clean, while coins coming off the government auctions are usually sold under the market value. As they were usually seized and connected with illegal activities, and it's harder to put these seized coins back on the market and sell them. When it comes to marking a Bitcoin, usually transacting them on peer-to-peer layer isn't anonymous without using specific techniques to obfuscate the payment, and even then having so-called unmarked Bitcoin is almost impossible, especially with big amounts, so this scene is getting 4.
What the fuck, Gord? Bitcoin mining in your dorm?
Multi-mining.
What the fuck is a multi?
Mining a selection of cryptocurrencies with the highest market prices and trading them back for Bitcoin. It's the smart way to do the stupid thing he was doing.
But it was gonna work, and it should have worked if the wiring in the dorm wasn't so shit.
It's definitely not a smart way. Mining isn't uniform between coins. Most of them have slightly different scripts for hashing the block. Hence, you would need a different type of mining hardware to be anywhere close to being profitable. Mining Bitcoin, you need ASIC machines. Ethereum, you can do it with GPUs. Monero, it's ASIC resistant, so you'd need standard CPU. And I won't even mention some coins that require disk space to be mined. That's my first point. And second, mining assets with the highest possible margin is extremely risky, as the market of these coins is usually super small and very volatile. If you mine Bitcoin, which is still fairly volatile, you will have the security of hundreds of billions worth of market capitalization, but if you mine something new like, I don't know, elephant coin that has market cap of few $1,000s, the risk may be higher than the potential reward. And yeah, trading it back to Bitcoin seems like a good idea. But the other part of the video is true. With a single Bitcoin ASIC, like a standard Antminer S9, you would need about 2000 or more watts to be profitable, and your standard 110 volt power outlet that you have in North America wouldn't be able to handle it. Billions is getting rating of 6 for that scene. Better or worse, understanding Bitcoin isn't easy, and screenwriters did fairly good job making these Bitcoin related scenes. And it's nice that they are taking the risk, as the goal is our entertainment, and if it sparks an interest in Bitcoin in someone, hey, it's a win-win scenario. And speaking about scenarios, below there are 2 videos. Both took me a lot of planning and work, and I've tried to make them as entertaining as possible, so I'm sure you will enjoy them and you will know more about Bitcoin after watching them.